At the Blair City Council, Thursday, December 9th, 2021, order. Please rise and let's say the Pledge of Allegiance together.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Jenny, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Jeff Capel.
Here.
Councilwoman Jill Cole.
Here.
Councilman Lee Zerwanka.
Here.
Councilman Brian Gath.
Here.
Vice Mayor Pramod Javeri.
Here.
Councilwoman Katie Schneider.
Here.
Mayor Mark Serkin.
Here.
7 present.
Do I have a motion to accept tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. We have a special presentation tonight, which a lot of you are here for. Here in Blue Ash, we are truly honored to have some of the most hardworking, dedicated, and compassionate police and firefighters in the region. These talented first responders provide support and protection to the thousands of people who live and work in the city. American Legion Post 630 will honor the best of the best, the Police Officer of the Year and the Firefighter of the Year in the annual Blue Ash Safety Awards. I'd like to welcome American Legion Post Commander Jim Meyer, who will give some background on why these safety awards are so important to our city.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, my fellow veterans and citizens of Blue Ash. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you tonight. It's my ears. There's an S on the end of it, and I begin almost every meeting, do I not? Trying to tell my guys. Yeah, it's an S on the end of that too.
I haven't known you very long, so that's why.
We only go back 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I think something like that. And when you spend time in my mouth, that was, oh, he is a dentist. Well, it is a pleasure to be with you tonight. And since 2017, when I first approached Paul Collins, who was our commander at that time, and said that we would like to, or should, consider honoring the best of our firefighters and police officers, because we have an empathy for them. You know, veterans are used to the fact that we step forward at one time to stand the watch. We're willing to go out and into harm's way. But you know, our police officers and our firefighters do that on a daily basis. And they are right here in our homeland, and they give their all for what they do. And you and I benefit from that. We are very, very thankful that we not only have those police forces and fire departments, but we have the extraordinary collection of those individuals right here in Blue Ash. We submit to the chiefs of police and the fire department that they would create a group, a committee, that would be a selection process, that they would select the best from among them for that specific year. We would sponsor and honor them with an award called the Safety Award for our city of Blue Ash. We've been honored to sponsor that annually since 2017. This year, we do so in the presentation of 3 things. One is, this is the Safety Service Award in Perpetuity flag. It's to hang here within the municipal building that others might see those who have been the best amongst our departments. And each name is under either the fire department or the police department, respectively. And then we give to each individual an individual plaque. That individual plaque, of course, is our own safekeeping. So, Mr. Mayor, at this time, I would like to present to you, I can approach you or come down and join me, and we'll just have a fun time. This is the safety award. Once again, I'm very proud to present. Very. and listen to the wonderful we have. If you reserve their selections.
Thank you, Commander Meyer. The 2021 Police Officer of the Year, David Duncan. And the 2021 Firefighter of the Year is Ray Tober. Start with Officer Duncan, is a 1995 graduate of high school. He attended Jasper College and Education. Officer Duncan was hired by the Sheriff's Office in 1999. His battle story, he was a battle. During his time in Kent County, Officer Duncan was assigned to road patrol and PA task force. Officer Duncan has spent 12 years with the Norwood Police Department, performance and management software, served as a field training officer, founded the Norwood Police Association, raising tens of thousands of dollars. Officer Duncan was hired by the Blue Ash Police Department in April of 2019. Eventually, Officer Duncan is a field training officer and a drone pilot. He is successfully located missing children and has flown multiple missions. Congratulations. Ray began his career in fire service in July of 2017, part-time with Central Florida. A year later, he was hired as a full-time member. Ray currently serves as a firefighter paramedic in Appalachian South. Ray is known for giving extra effort and going above and beyond. He's always learning and he wants to understand how things work so he can make the best strategies and processes for himself and his fellow firefighters. Ray exemplified this by doing intense hands-on research to determine which self-contained breathing apparatus would be the best for our safety. He also recently spent hours testing its effect on growth loads and is instrumental in training his crew to the new. This year, he also took time to expand his knowledge of the wrestling phone system to help improve firefighting techniques for the entire department. Congratulations, Ray. Chance to thank our safety personnel and police department. And I probably was not. Certainly would be safe and happy and healthy. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the American Legion 630 for honoring these outstanding individuals. And I would like to ask Commander Myers to come up and share some pictures with firefighters who's been up here and families and anybody else. Do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of November 11th, 2021?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Present. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the budget study session, November 29th, 21?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the swearing-in ceremony of December 1st, 2021?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll move to communications of council. Jamie, do we have anything?
We do. There was an application for a new liquor license by Higher Gravity, which will be in Summit Park. It's been reviewed by the police department. They've had no objections. So if you have no objections, I will forward this on to the state.
And that will satisfy our DORA, if I understand that correctly. That's the fourth liquor license, am I right?
Sorry to interrupt, but really quickly, exciting news. Just yesterday, the state passed Senate Bill 102, which revised the DORA regulations, which means that we can apply at any time. I think we can have more than one DORA. I think it can be bigger. I haven't thoroughly reviewed, but big changes are coming. So it all looks positive.
Any reports from outside agencies? Seeing none. The mayor's report will be entered into the public record. The financial report, do I have a motion to accept the financial report from November of 2021?
So moved.
Move.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're gonna move to hearings for citizens. Just a second here, because I got my. If you wish to speak, please approach the microphone and state your name and address. If you have any materials to pass out, please give them directly to the clerk of council. Please keep your comments as brief as possible. It's very unlikely we'll make any remarks immediately after you speak. Sometimes we do revisit an issue during miscellaneous business. Clerk of council will notify you when 3 minutes has passed, and at that point, please wrap up your presentation. Let's all treat each other calmly and with respect. Would anybody like to speak? Nobody, we'll move on. Committee reports. We're going to turn over to Finance and Administration Committee, Councilman Leeser Wonka.
You. Jamie, please read resolution number 2021-63 by title only.
Providing for amendments within the 2021 annual appropriation resolution number 2020-62.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-63.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Mayor Serkin,
Yes.
7 yeses.
Okay, now I'm going to change gears here a little bit. This is an ordinance. Jamie, please read ordinance number 2021-06 by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to resolve the pending court case between the city of Blue Ash and Blue Ash Ohio Realty LLC concerning the appropriation of certain property interests necessary for the purpose of a road improvement project on Hunt Road and Plainfield Road, the Plainfield Road roundabouts in the city of Blue Ash, Hamilton County, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to suspend the rules of council requiring a second reading.
Second.
Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Cole.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka.
Yes.
Mayor Serkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Move to adopt ordinance number 2021-06.
Second.
Any discussion?
The ordinance specifies an additional payment in addition to whatever was deposited at the beginning. What is the deposit?
I should remember that, 566,000.
So 1.2 in total or so?
Their appraisal, just so you know.
I remember theirs was significantly higher. Yeah. Okay, thank you, sorry.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Being none, Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilman Gap,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Changing gears again, back to resolutions. Jamie, please read resolution number 2021-64 by title only.
Resolution adopting the budget for revenues and expenditures of the city of Blue Ash, Ohio for the 2022 fiscal year.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-64.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, this is exactly what we saw in the budget that discussed just a week ago.
Anything else? Being none, Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Gap,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin. 7 yeses.
Jamie, please read resolution number 2021-65 by title only.
Authorizing the 2022 position classification plan and the 2022 pay plan as provided for in Resolution 2017-63 Administrative Rules and Regulations.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-65.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Gap,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Jamie, please read resolution number 2021-66 by title only.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for professional legal services and providing compensation therefore.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-66.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a comment on this one. Says they haven't been raised since January 2018, so about 2% a year, so I have no problems.
Anyone else? Being done, Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Capell,
No.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Gap,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin.
Yes.
6 yeses, 1 no.
All I have, Mayor.
Great. We're going to move to Park and Recreation. Councilwoman Schneider, chairperson.
Thanks. Jamie, please read resolution number 2021-67 by title.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into multi-year contracts for the Cooper Creek Event Center for professional catering services with Elegant Fare, Inc., Jeff Thomas Catering, and Catering Adventures Hospitality Group, LLC.
Adopt resolution number 2021.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'll just make a quick comment related to the average 22% return on food provided. I mean, I'll vote for this legislation this year, but just with the comment that Robert Irvine and Jake Tapper would probably tell us to boost that number up. So might be something to look at in the future.
Well, they just did boost it up.
Well, more than 22% is what I'm saying. I don't want to get into a dissertation of how food is priced because we don't need to take a whole lot of time on that. So I'll just leave the comment as I made it.
And Jamie,
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilwoman Schneider,
yes.
Councilman Gap,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Wait, Jamie, could you please read resolution number 2021-68 by title only?
Establishing fees for the usage of recreational facilities and equipment at the city of Blue Ash, Ohio.
Move to adopt resolution number 21-68.
Second.
This resolution is updating the golf course fees by $1 per 9 holes. Dollars per 8.
Yeah, just a quick comment and question. I'm glad we have this legislation. It's definitely necessary. The one question I have, just since I'm not a golfer, when we say it's riding rates, would somebody get a lower rate, like if they walked the entire 18 holes, or? And then is that not being proposed to be increased here?
Any other discussion?
I like the way that we set this price by looking at the market and seeing what comparable courses charge. That makes it so that our golf course stays full and maximizes the income from it. So I really appreciate that work.
I believe we have record round this year, most likely, right, Brian? We're
Not
close.
quite record, but we're having a very good year. We are record revenue for both
Record.
greens fees and cart fees.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka.
Yes.
Mayor Serkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Okay, we're gonna move to Planning and Zoning Committee, Vice Mayor Javari.
Providing for the appointments of Zishan Pasha as a member and John Meyer as an alternate member to the Board of Site Arrangement and Board of Zoning Appeals for the City of Blue Ash. Second.
Councilman. Council, so there was a vacant position there, so. Saza. Don is as a alternate positions.
Yeah.
I would like to say that having served with Mr. Pasha several times as he filled in as the alternate, he's a great choice for this.
You know, I had the pleasure of spending a lot of time with John Meyer. He came across as just very knowledgeable. He's got a great background. You guys know his resume, and we really liked him. Great for the position.
Yeah, I just want to say these boards have done a very good job the last few years.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole. Yes. Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Mayor Serkin.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Come up and get sworn in? Sure.
Mr. Meyer.
Thank you so much. You know, our citizen boards are so helpful to us, and you know, they're just another level of input that we so much appreciate. So thanks again. Okay, we're going to move to the Public Works Committee. Councilwoman Cole, chairperson.
Jamie, could you please read resolution number 2021-70 by title only?
Authorizing general engineering, plan review, architectural, and related service rates for 2022 with CT Consultants.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-70.
Second.
This is an annual review of a 5-year contract for engineering services, which we use for public works and also for plan review. Anybody have any questions or comments? Amy, please call the roll.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole,
Yes.
Mayor Serkin,
Yes.
7 yeses.
Jamie, would you please read resolution number 2021-71 by title only?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the Summit Park Access Drive and Parking Lot Expansion Project.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-71.
Second.
This is part of a multi-phase project for parking and access for part of Summit Park. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Public parking.
It won't effectively really increase a lot of parking. This is the area that outside of the finished parking that is kind of rough. It's a good word for it. So we're starting to polish that up, but so there may be a net gain or loss in that particular area. But remember, there's hundreds and hundreds of spots, but we eventually need to improve the look of that parking lot throughout there. And then while we're at it, we're improving the drainage facility along there and improving the circular drive so that at the end of where the parking lot ends currently right now, all of a sudden it just stops being this kind of war zone.
That parking area, I think right now it's not open all the time. Is that will stay that way?
Yeah, it should be open all the time.
Yeah, it'll be open from now on, after that project is completed.
Any other questions? Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Mayor Serkin,
Yes.
7 yeses.
Thank you. Jamie, would you please read resolution number 2021-72 by title only?
Authorizing the city manager to make payment for professional design services for the Downtown Gateway Project.
Move to adopt resolution number 2021-72.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments about this?
I have a couple questions about this one. So it was for design work. I know that there was a proposal, design work shared. Can you tell us what was completed on this, or is it still kind of on hold?
Yeah, so this is for the design work of what we proposed. We had bid it once and the prices came back above our estimates. So we rejected those bids. We then revised the plans, removed some things to reduce the cost. It was still over budget, unfortunately. And so that's what this is for, the design services to do that work. So we're going to be bidding out some portions of it, breaking the project up into manageable portions, and then we'll be constructing some of the landscaping and structures ourselves with our own in-house work crews.
The timing of that is this spring and into early summer.
Yeah, it'll be through the next year.
Questions or comments? Amy?
So what got removed?
Well, we removed some things to try when we rebid it. Since we're going to be doing it ourselves, we will be building the entirety of it with the exception of the island that was in the north part of the project near Catawba Creek. That's going to be removed at this time. But any of these things can be added in future phases if we so choose.
Anything else? Jamie, please call the roll.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilman Gath,
Yes.
Councilman Capell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole, yes, Mayor Cirkin,
Yes,
7 yeses. That's all I have.
thank you. We're gonna move to Public Safety Committee, Councilman Capel.
We just have one item. Jamie, if you can please read resolution number 2021-73 by title only.
Electing Jeff Capel and David M. Waltz to the Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund Board and acknowledging the election of Chris Theaters and Justin Burris to the Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund Board for the term expiring January 1st, 2023.
And I move we approve resolution number 2021-73.
Second.
Chief, did you want to say anything?
No, I mean, it's something we have to do each year. It is nice because this includes part-time employees where the full-time employees are covered by Ohio Police and Fire. So again, a board that we really don't meet, and we hope we never use because when that's implemented, someone has been injured or killed. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Schneider,
Yes.
Councilman Gabb,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari,
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole, yes, Councilman Capel,
Yes.
Mayor Cirkin,
Yes.
7 yeses.
Miscellaneous business, David?
So a couple items. First, Kelly, I think, provided you a memo on the golf cart legislation. Brian wants to remind us it's not golf cart, it's low speed, low something vehicle, but in any event, so you saw that in there. If you've got any feedback, let us know. Otherwise, if you like the way it is, we'll present it for reading number 1 sometime in January. I don't know if you want to talk about that for now, or you want me to move on to the next item.
Quick question, I'm fine with it being down to 25 and that's, I like everything, Chief Knowles comfortable with that, which obviously better than that than the 35, of course. The only question I had is that, can we consider maybe a multi-year certificate of compliance? Because, we don't really check our cars every year, we don't check our motorcycles. Equipment's on there as when it's manufactured, so I didn't know, that would be kind of a burden that people running up there and checking it.
It's, Mayor, unfortunately, it's the state law. We don't have a choice. So, or as David says, it's just me being a jerk too. Some words, but no, it's,
Well, we actually asked if we could just not do the inspection.
he actually asked, right. He had
Because we
that
didn't want to, A, didn't want to deal with it. B, we didn't want to kind of assume some set of safety by sticking a sticker on there and what have you, but as Brian said, the state law requires.
I mean, it's silly because everybody can remove all the safety equipment off the car the second they pull it off the lot.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
never checked,
Yes.
ever. So
Correct.
this doesn't make it makes no sense, but it's legislation, so why should it make sense?
Yeah, I won't fence with you there.
Granted.
I had a couple questions that, as I was trying to navigate around town, is it possible to drive from the north end of town to the city police station and get your certificate without breaking the law?
No.
So we're going to say that everyone who owns one of these things on the north side of town is going to trailer their their underspeed and low speed vehicle annually to the police station where it will be inspected?
Yeah, or air flight it.
Okay.
Um,
Air crane.
Yeah, I think the reality, that's the least of the reality. I think the reality is if you're based on the current map, because we just unfortunately, when we looked at it, the way Blue Ash is developed, you have to come down Reed Harmon Highway or Kenwood, and Kenwood north of Pfeiffer Road is, you certainly could provide in that option and wait, that's why we're providing that map if you want to change the map. But there's just a lot of semis and a lot of more speed and what have you. So I think the reality is, if you live on my street, I live in the north end of town, I can buy one, I guess, but I'm gonna drive to my neighbor's house and that's about it. So I think effectively, unless you live in the south end of Blue Ash, and will not, it will not be realistic for you to have one.
And so I guess
people who live very near the park, that might be advantageous to them. As I look at this, I don't understand how this makes our city better. Somebody driving around on a low-speed vehicle as opposed to their personal vehicle, it's not safer for anybody. If I already have one, maybe, that's the case. We're not a lakeside Ohio that has, all these really low-speed roads. So I'm interested to hear. Yeah,
For me, I go through Montgomery.
Are they permitted in the government?
Probably.
No, they're not allowed in Montgomery.
Who's gone over that?
Go 50 there.
So the only argument I have, Brian, is that, I see these bikes trucking up Cooper Road at 6 miles an hour in the middle of the road. And I will argue that a golf cart that can go 15 or 20 is a hell of a lot safer than a bicycle on the same road. We are gonna have a very small amount of people that are.
I don't think we're trading bicycles for these. I think we're trading cars for
No,
these.
but I almost have a problem with, the fact that you can drive your bike up Cooper Road.
Right, I live off Cooper Road too, and it's an issue. It's a
Yeah, it's an
fairly
issue.
narrow
Yeah.
road and it's a steep incline and
People get right on the middle of the road and they just backtrack traffic up forever, and that's legal. At least with a golf cart, you can give a higher speed, you have some semblance of protection. So I don't feel like that is not safe, where being on a bicycle with absolutely no protection. You could argue that motorcycles, not much better, it's heavier, but if you get hit and you fall off, you're hitting the ground. And if even a tap, if a golf cart gets tapped by a car, they'll stay, some amount of safety. So I have a hard time, yeah, you can have a bike, that's cool, but no, not a golf cart, that's really dangerous.
As I was, we don't legislate bicycles or motorcycles. That's state legislature.
And so is this, what they're saying, we're just copying what the state's allowing. But the
gave us-
municipality has to go ahead and pass it.
Gotcha. The other thing, as I was trying to ask, why is this an advantage for you, a citizen who has one of these? When you got to park in the same parking spots that I do, parking my car, one of the proponents said to me, well, that's my next ask, is I want special parking at the front of the parking lots. That's one person, they can ask me anything they want. I would be against that in any case, so.
The people that have asked for this, that have called me particularly, have talked about it, we said right off the bat, you're gonna be a car. You're not going on the cart paths, you're not going on the paths around Summit Park, you're not going through, no, you're a car. You'll be treated like a car, you'll be ticketed like a car. You're not gonna park under the canopy because there's room. You're a car, so.
How do they get treated for handicap, ADA compliance?
They would have to apply for a handicap sticker just like they would for a car.
especially for the cart
Yeah, because it's
or vehicle.
it's defined as a vehicle. I mean, bigger picture.
Other communities, so Evendale, Green Hills, Terrace Park, that have adopted ordinance, have they limited to 25 miles an hour as well? At 35?
So Katie, it varies. So for some, I brought all this stuff and I hope somebody might ask me a question, because that's what I brought. And in Evendale, you're not allowed to go south of Reading Road. So you're not allowed at all. The statute allows you to take it up to 35, but that's all, you can't go higher than 35. And I'm looking at Harrison's now, and Harrison specifically lists the streets. So if you're in the parks of Whitewater, you can do that. Whitewater Trails, you can do that. If Hickory Flats, you can do that. So they actually identify the specific street. So I can't tell you, they can only do it on 25 in Harrison, no more than 25 in Harrison. I could go through Evendale's too, but it's south of Reading Road. You're not allowed to be on a golf cart.
South of Reading, or?
I might have it north. Yeah, I'm sorry, I might have it north.
I think the point is, regardless of where, point is, those communities have, everyone's different and they probably define where they wanted them or what have you. We just chose, since the carts aren't likely to be very fast because by law they're smaller or they're slower, we just chose to keep them on the 25, number one. Number two, Chief Knoll contacted Evendale and you said they've not issued any permits, right, in the 2 or 3 years it had. Was it Evendale or was it some?
Harrison has 15 vehicles that are registered at their police department. Evendale has never had one come to the police department even asked to be registered. They passed the legislation.
And again, you don't need, and just if you want time to think about this some more, there's no hurry, so to speak. You want to think about it some more, look at the map and digest, what's the goal, what you're trying to do. So certainly give you that option. But I think the point is, yeah, if you stick to a 35, that's your restriction. If you want to pick particular streets, you can do that. It's whatever you want.
So Katie, just to follow up, no more than 25 in Evendale, and it's west, no golf carts if you're on Reading Road or any Evendale streets west of Reading Road. I'm sorry.
This in no way will be fair. I mean, it's not, like you said, Brian, people to the north are gonna be kind of locked. But, it's kind of like to me, like, well, if you want to walk to the golf course, you gotta live in a certain part of the city. It's just not, you're not gonna take your golf bag and put it over your shoulder and walk all the way. But if you live in my neighborhood, absolutely. So, no, it's not fair. So.
One of the gentlemen, so Mr. Wittenberg, months ago, last year, and they kind of proposed it. And they wanted to be here tonight to say something, but was traveling and couldn't make it. So they want to share some thoughts on it. From their perspective, they live off Cooper Road. Restrictions with the 25 mile per hour, they couldn't even get, for example, to City Park. And so as we're talking about the safety concerns and golf cart, traffic, the semis and all of that, I think the purpose of this is not to encourage people to get one of these, but like the examples you're saying, nobody in Evendale has one. I don't think this is going to impact a lot of people, but they know their safety concerns themselves, so they don't go out in rush hour. They don't go out when there's tons of traffic. They were saying if there is a line of cars behind them, they pull over, let them pass. Looking at this map with the restrictions, it's like so restricted. You couldn't. I guess I'm not really a fan of the 25 mile per hour. Thoughts out there and share from their perspective and owning one of these.
Remember, Chief, no, there is a way to get a vehicle that's faster that is street legal, like Rick Silverman used to have it. He sold it, but his was much higher speed. He didn't have to get any legislation passed. Exactly. So I mean, there it is. Little. Those are like mid 40 or whatever. Best vehicle. Like just.
And I'm wondering, does it make it too complicated if you put hour restriction? 7 to 9 or whatever.
The answer to that is yes. I mean, you certainly, if it's really important and council really wants to do it, you can do all this thing. But anytime you add irregularity, hours, days of the week, change the lanes, whatever it is, then you introduce variability, and that's makes it difficult. You want some consistency by users. And so I don't know the answer in the golf cart world, but generally speaking, with rules, you want consistency. I mean, to your point, it's probably pretty safe on Sundays. But do you want to write a rule like that and have people remember it, and then on Monday morning they're also going to say, I just drove here yesterday, I thought it was a lot. So you want to kind of be consistent, whatever you decide to do.
Personal responsibility is part of it, and you have to decide, is this safe for me? 5 o'clock, maybe not. Because we allow bikes and motorcycles, you just can't see that. That's all I have to say.
Well, I did want to throw out the possibility, though, of considering if we passed something like this, if we did want to consider a time element to it. Because the goal really of anything like this is to try to add benefits without causing too many additional problems. So like if we said that we would say, for example, you can't go north on Kenwood Road between 7 and 9 o'clock, or you can't go south on another busy road between like 3:30 and and 5 o'clock, and then maybe we loosened it otherwise, then maybe that solves two of these problems where we're less likely to have problems during rush hour when we know we need to have these streets clear and moving. But then also that could also help the people in the northern area who, as it's written right now, would be very limited on where they can go. But we know that outside of certain busy times, the roads are pretty safe to be on. Like when I drive to, when I go out to get a sandwich at Jimmy John's on Sunday at 1:30, there's not a whole heck of a lot of competition on Kenwood Road for me. So there wouldn't be any problem with a vehicle like this anywhere on Kenwood Road at an hour like that. So I kind of do want to throw out that possibility of putting a time element to this to try to increase benefits and decrease potential problems. I don't really think it would be too complicated to follow. It just, you have to have the ability to read, and just knowing that during rush hour Monday through Friday, you can't do certain things and you can do more things at other times, I don't think it's that hard to track.
What you're saying may make some intuitive sense, but truly, if you want to widen it, if you want to allow it up Kenwood Road, I would just allow it. I would try to guess when the safe hours are.
And that can be impacted by weather or.
Yeah, I mean, just let people, if that's your concern, I would say just let it happen rather than restricted hours. And then let, as Mark said, let people decide whether they feel safe or not. You know, when I ride my bike to work, sometimes I don't ride on the way home at 5:30 on the streets. I just know it's a horrible thing to do. So I wouldn't try to figure out this. I know you're going to say, well, we can figure out when the safe hours are. We can be reasonable. I realize that. I'm just saying from a regulation standpoint, I'd either permit it or not and not worry too much about the hours. And yes, people can read it. Now we can put more signs up, and people don't even read the signs on Reed Harmon Highway that says no bicycles on Reed Harmon Highway, and they already go down it. So.
Well, my last comment is, and I'm done, is that, you know, if we're gonna let 10-speed bikes, I don't think you call them that anymore, but, you know, with 1-inch tires, they're allowed to go up, you know, but these aren't for certain hours. I think you make it too complicated.
Well, one point I'd make though is I don't think the criteria you would use is safe versus unsafe, because those are both subjective terms. I think the criteria would be, when is there heavy traffic on the stretch of road? When is there not heavy traffic? And you go from there, because then, yeah, at that point, it really is a personal choice.
What do you do with that bike? Do you allow the bike? The bike's okay. I'm just saying, you know, the bike's okay, but God forbid you take a golf cart on the same road at the same time. That's why I think it's getting complicated.
The legislation doesn't address bikes in any capacity, though. My personal opinion is just that streets are not just for cars. So I think if we can find ways to make it easier for golf carts, bikes, skateboards, for all I care, pedestrians, I'm fine with it as long as you're not causing problems, though. So like when I say I'm fine with people biking on the road, I mean, I'm fine with people being able to bike, though I'll also admit if I'm behind them as they're going 12 miles per hour and they're not pulling over for a few seconds to let the 6 cars behind them move, I'm a little less happy with that at that moment. Although that does lead to one question I have for the solicitor, like whether it's golf carts, bikes, or anything else, is it even permissible to have a duty to yield requirement for any of these vehicles on public roads?
What was the last part of your question, Jeff?
Whether there would be a duty to yield, meaning so like if you're a golf cart or a bicyclist and you got 7 vehicles behind you and you just need to move your rear end over for 5 seconds to let them pass, could we even mandate?
The answer to that would be no, because under state law, they're entitled to the road as much as a car, and that's governed by state law. So the discussion about bikes with respect to at least legislation is irrelevant, because the state's already regulated in that area. We don't have the ability to, if we pass something that outlawed bikes, we would be acting unlawfully. It'd be over my dead body. Or words to that effect, maybe is a better way to say that.
It's a little hard.
Yeah, it's a little harsh. And Ms. Council may go,
So excited.
yeah, and Council may go, gee whiz, don't give us that chance, Brian.
Just a matter of practice.
So no.
Furthermore, you maybe, even if you yield a little bit, you're forcing people to go across a double line, which is against the law. So to Brian's point, I think de-simplify this. Don't, you're trying to overcomplicate it. I think if you're saying, hey, we want to allow more access than less, we just simply say, hey, 35 is an easy cutoff because that's an easy way to regulate it. But if you want to start picking streets that are allowing it, then just pick streets. Don't do hours, don't do traffic analysis of when you think the traffic's gonna be heavy and what have you, because it changes all the time anyways, and there's shift changes, and Amazon delivers at night and 6 in the morning too, so you just pick the streets you want them to go to and be done with it.
I guess I just have one question too. My understanding, I think I'm correct. They're just like a car, they're allowed in parking lots and on roads, not on the bike paths or the things along Reed Hartman. And it seems like that's going to be inviting a lot of people who are going to want to use those because it seems logical that you could ride up that bike path along Reed Hartman or especially around Daventry, getting into the park. Are we just going to manage that through citations or signage or pylons or,
I can't catch me, I'll get away with it.
Beat that to the ground pretty well, didn't we?
I'll go at certain hours and then
The only thing that I would say, the only additional thing that I would say against the certain hours is that traffic may be slower actually when the roads are busier. And so it's probably less of a hindrance than it is on Sunday when everybody's doing 50 miles an hour up Kenwood Road. Sorry, Chief. Over the speed limit on.
well, in the interest, why don't you all take this and digest this, and we'll discuss it in January again, because I get a sense that this is one of those that I don't think, I would want to ask you to come up with a final vote. I think you need to think about it some more, because you're asking the right questions. Just think about it some more and what have you. Number two, I'll give you a copy of a memo. Again, this is not something we need done tonight at all, or perhaps at all, but at the budget study session, I think it was Lee brought up questions about, he didn't bring this particular question up, but Brian and I have been talking about, Brian Cruz and I have been talking about this. Membership, not surprising, is down. Business membership is down even more than residential membership. To refresh your memory, to be a member of a rec center as a business member, you pay a significantly higher rate. So we actually have an advantage to encourage business membership because they pay a nice premium and they tend not to use it as much as our residents too. So we get a double whammy. But as you can imagine with COVID and everything, the membership is down. It's limited to those who work full-time for our companies. That is sometimes cumbersome for us to, oftentimes cumbersome for us to confirm that whether they're full-time or part-time, what have you. Feel like there's capacity. If you wanted to entertain opening that up to any employee of a Blue Ash company, we don't think we would overwhelm the facility. In fact, the facility's been underutilized the last couple of years, period. And on top of that, I just don't think you'll get a lot of new members because part-time members tend to even be in the community less, probably less incentivized. And often those are part-time bartenders and what have you. So their incentive to pay a premium rate probably not there, but it's something to consider. So we just wanted to put it out there and have you think about that. And, in a future meeting, if you like that idea, we can simply do another tweak to our policy and then allow part-time business community members to become a member of the rec center. Any immediate thoughts, reaction, or just nothing about it?
I think I brought this up a month ago, and this answer is a lot more palatable than opening up a lot wider. The reason we're seeing these numbers as they are is because of COVID, the drop and such, and people from at home and such. This fills that gap, okay? And hopefully our workers come back sooner than later and such, and everything gets back to hopefully what that normal will be. But I think this is a good answer to the problem at the time.
Well, it seems like it's something to try, but it may be a factor that a lot of people didn't want to come to gyms and they started working out at home. they may not come back to gym. You know, I'm a person, I don't like to work out at gym or at home. I like to work out in a gym. So I don't really know. We could always consider tweaking this and then make further adjustments if we don't get the reaction or the response that we like.
Jill, to your point, you can see even the resident membership, which is really cheap, it's still not at full capacity because people are uncomfortable or whatever it is. So.
Any legislation we do can always be amended. Golf cart legislation. Change everything we do.
Right, and we don't want to be frivolous, but at the same point, sometimes it's good maybe to try things where it doesn't appear as only likelihood of something.
I might consider something like just offer it up to a cap number. So then that way we don't have to worry about the issue of then, let's say we decide to expand it to all part-time employees. And then what do you know, within the next 6 months is when everybody flocks back to the gym, and then maybe we have a capacity issue. So maybe, yes, with the cap, and that way we don't have to worry.
As I mentioned at the budget study session, we already have an informal internal cap. We haven't come close to even meeting that even pre-COVID. So.
I mean, just like a cap for part-time business memberships only.
I think you just do the cap. You just follow the business membership cap that we have, period, and just no more than X number.
Because the goal is twofold. One, it's an incentive to people who are locating their businesses here. And two, it's a revenue stream for an important facility. So I don't care if you work full-time or part-time. In my mind.
It was something, it's just a legacy issue back in the day when primarily the rec center was a lot smaller. And you were limiting the number of people, so we limited it to, but as we built capacity, as I said, we have an internal informal cap period of membership, and we don't even hit that even pre-COVID. So I just really don't think you'll do that. I think you just follow the regular cap that you have. And I don't think you're at any risk. If for some reason we're shocked, then I'll certainly let you know, but you're not even getting 100% of residential membership now. And that trend, to be honest, that trend before COVID was even slightly down. As I said, our peak was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just that
People have other options.
Yeah, they just have other options and interests.
What is the, not the cap, but the capacity, I guess? So you're saying even in 2019, it was down 4191 memberships. What could we, is that ideal? Do we want more than that?
Well, I don't know if you want to say want more than that, but certainly we have the ability. Brian, what you have?
The cap in the past was 700 family, 750 single business. We've never capped residential. And that number was in place back in Joe Feldkamp days in the old building. When we moved into the new building after renovation, we said, we don't know what that cap is until we live in the space. So we never touched it. Come 2013, 2014, when it was the last time we had peak numbers, we still felt comfortable with 12,000 members in the building, and we were slightly over those caps. So we never touched it. We never actually enforced the cap. Since then, we've slowly dropped down. Like David said, since 2019, obviously, we've seen a bigger hit. So really, it's a matter of feel in the building, and I don't think we're anywhere close to it right now. And we weren't in 2014 either.
Brian, regarding programming beyond the membership, okay. Priorities are residents, right? And then we go to businesses and such as far as the program. And joining programs, whatever that may be, yoga or whatever it is, classes. No?
Yeah, so if you remember now, if you guys remember, we adjusted the actual fees for the recreation center. We opened up programming to anybody. So fitness classes specifically, I'm more so talking about. Right. But to rent a shelter, get swim lessons, et cetera, it's usually priority registration by time. So you have the ability to come in as a resident on Monday, and then we open it up for everybody else after that. For some of those programs that are really tough to get into.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one other thing to consider is you also have membership, but then you have membership usage, and they track, I guess we call them swipes, is that the word? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Scan
swipes. And so, pre-COVID, our swipes were 300,000. Is that what it was, 340?
Back in the day, early, 2014, 2013, we were hitting 300,000.
Yeah, now we're in 100 and some thousand swipes. So even if you get more members, their average daily uses tends to be less now either. And also, so We just really feel like you're fine. If you're comfortable with it, you're gonna be fine, and it's not. You may actually have a few people say they've enjoyed the last 2 years because they could work out all by themselves and not have anyone else. But from an overall capacity standpoint, you have a little bit of an underutilized facility right now. Okay, well, I'll bring that back up then in January, let you think about it, and then see where we want to go. Last 2 things, we're done with the Hunt House. I know a number of you asked questions about, a number of you hadn't been in the Hunt House, what have you. So in January or February, we'll, before one of those council meetings, we'll meet early and let you do a little tour of the Hunt House and all the renovations and all that. I think Brian said that they are putting all the furniture back now or soon.
First couple weeks of January.
Okay.
Back.
So by hopefully the January meeting or the February meeting, it'll all be pretty for you. And lastly, end of the year, want to again thank council for its leadership over the past year, really past 2 years, right? It's been an interesting time, trying time, COVID and a number of other challenges. But, one of the strengths that Blue Ash has had is our council's always been very level-headed, doesn't jump off the cliff, doesn't get highly political or debate, base on things, kind of ride through it. You had the experience, let's be calm about it. And so, fortunately, as we told you and shared the story at the last budget study session, we're ending the year pretty healthy and successful. We still think there's gonna be challenges next year, but I want to thank you for your leadership on that. And then, of course, thank our department heads who, every day had to drive through that process. I make the joke, but I'm very serious. A lot of companies had the benefit of employees got to go home, work from home and avoid the stress. And, most of our employees didn't. They had to show up every day and take care of that. And so that's an indicator of their public service. So thank all of them too. With that, happy holidays.
I know that you had received some previous correspondence about the state capital budget process, and I wanted to let you know that we did apply for funding to support the Town Square project, and Brian Cruz did a phenomenal job presenting to the State Capital Bill Prioritization Task Force on Monday. So fingers crossed we will receive some funding. And also happy holidays. I won't ask Santa for a golf cart just yet.
Well, since then we gotta go right to Chief Knoll. Sherry?
Happy holidays.
Peters?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Brian Cruz?
So speaking of the golf carts, we do have this GPS system at the golf course that we could attach to everybody's golf cart if you want full control, and then we can keep them from going certain places.
Yeah, you could have those sensors like they do, it locks your cart and makes you back up.
Yeah, Kroger has those on the carts.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll submit for a budget adjustment for the staff and the equipment necessary. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Gordon.
Yeah, just wanted to give a quick update on the Plainfield Hunt Roundabout project. So we moved to a new phase in our maintenance of traffic today. So it's very minor change, but the McDonald's entrance is now open. And so as we continue work on the south side of Hunt Road, we're still on target to try to finish that first roundabout up by the end of the year, if all goes well. But things are moving along quite nicely. If you do get any calls or questions from your constituents, please refer them to our website. We update that on a bi-weekly process, gives updates on the schedule or things that are activities going on. And there's also a email address where they can contact directly our construction management team, get any questions answered that may come up. So it's all going very well, and hopefully it keeps going that well. So happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Julie?
Just want to wish everyone a happy holidays.
Jill?
Happy holidays.
Me?
I'm going to say happy bowl season. Enjoy the football.
So I just want to thank council for its prior resolution. I can't tell you to say I'm honored to represent the Blue Ash would be trite. You know, I've been had my hand in some kind of Blue Ash work for 25 years now. And been the name solicitor for 7, or starting my 7th year now. And to have that label is something that I do is not only important to me, it also is marketable, to be quite frank, for me. And so I appreciate the trust and the feeling that you are behind us in what we do. What I appreciate, and David has made this point to me, which resonates now finally, or at least as I get older. Brian, council doesn't need you to, prove how smart you are. They just need you to just handle your business. And I appreciate that council allows us to handle our business. I love working with this team, this administrative team from David, I'd say on down, but David and others is really outstanding. You have just a great professional group. And what's interesting is this group would manage a Fortune 500 company very well. And I'm so proud to be part of it, and I appreciate the opportunity to continue to be part of it. I thank you all for that, and I love working with this. I love working with this team with you all. It is an honor, and I'm proud anytime that we have something for the city of Blue Ash. Dinsmore's been the name solicitor for over 50 years, in 3 or 4 of us over the years. So I appreciate that, and I'm honored to continue that trend, and hope I can continue as long as I'm able to do it. So I appreciate that, and thank you. And with that, wish you all happy holidays and a happy New Year. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to reiterate the happy holidays and safe holidays sentiment as well. But I just do think it's the end of the year, and it's time to look back. We've had a great financial results for this year, considering the circumstances. And I think we all recognize how much hard work and diligence and persistence goes into that. And also looking forward to hopefully a pretty good year next year. And it's just a time to count our blessings and be grateful for all of the hard work that all of you guys, everyone in the city does to make this. I really appreciate it.
Our sentiments, I mean, starting another term here, and our administration is second to none. First responders, guys, you've done wonderful for the last couple of years. The administration, great job. No matter what the circumstance is, Brian, keep up the good work again. I was privileged to do mayor's court while I was mayor, and had a variety of prosecutors, starting prosecutors, through our mayor's court, and all of them are still there and doing very, very well, from what I understand. But I'm very pleased with this city. I've been smiling here. I do. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody.
Echo that as well. The only thing I'll add is thank you, John, for serving. Just happy holidays as well.
Yeah, I'll just do a Jeff's minute or 2 moments, since this is the start of a new term. Want to first welcome Brian here with us, and I look forward to serving with you as well as the rest of council. I think we're primed to have a good 2 years together. One conundrum that I think we want to make headway in solving is when you ask people in Blue Ash, do they like living here? I think we're at like 97 or 98% yes. Then again, we've had 6 council members who weren't reelected in the past few years. So those 2 numbers don't necessarily jive. And I think it's incumbent upon us to try to reconcile how that happens and make sure that we are truly listening to the residents and doing exactly what they want. I mean, it would be easy for us just to say, we're 100% great. Everybody here is 100% great. We're doing a great job. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. But, to do that would require some level of non-listening skills. And we need to make sure we're hearing the residents when they send us messages. I mean, personally, I think what residents want is, since they are very happy living in Blue Ash, I don't think they want any big wholesale changes or anything radical to be done. But I also think they want us to make sure that we're listening to them, we're including them in major decisions, that when it is appropriate to make changes or do a little course change in something, that if the facts back it, that we be open-minded and willing to do that. As Woody Hayes once said, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Let's make sure we just keep on getting better. I know that we can do that. And with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everyone.
Ryan. You know, would be too short, so I will add a big thanks to American Legion Post 630 and congratulations to the firefighter and police officer of the year. It is always impressive to meet these folks that are serving in this way, but to hear, Mayor, the resumes and the highlights of what they've done, that's pretty darn cool, because you know, some jobs are show up and do what you're told and be done, and both of those fine people obviously have taken it a step beyond, and very impressed by that. I want to extend a thanks tonight to David and to Gordon and to Chief Knoll for spending a ridiculous amount of time on the phone with me this last week as I've tried to figure out some of the stuff that's going on. I have said that I knew that the city was in good hands before I took this seat. I'm just, my opinion is just confirmed as I ask the most minor questions, as I ask things that might be insulting if it wasn't received as just trying to find information. Everybody I've spoken to has just been bending over backwards to share with me and to educate me, and I deeply appreciate that. So thank you, and if I haven't spent an hour or 2 or 3 on the phone with you yet, look out, I might be coming your way next. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good. I just want to thank the city administration for our gift certificate to Honey Bake. That was very sweet. Everybody for being part of this organization. I feel extraordinarily lucky to be just a little part of this organization. Happy holidays to everybody. With that, we're going to move into executive session for personnel matters to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Second. Amy, please call the roll.
Councilman Capell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cole?
Yes.
Councilman Zerwanka?
Yes.
Councilman Gatt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Javari?
Yes.
Councilwoman